Hello everybody, this is Fernando for the latest Cryptids and Monsters video. Alright, let's go ahead and let's do another entry here. This one yet again based on one of your new suggestions. This one with a very fascinating case involving a cryptid that could be a cryptid or it could be something else, almost like a mythological creature, or it could even be something paranormal. Very hard to say because this is definitely a gray area when it comes to so many unique characteristics of this cryptid. Not just the way it looks, but also the way it acts and then the presence that people have whenever they're around it. Lots of interesting stuff. If I never would have heard of this suggestion, I don't think I ever would have even known about this particular cryptid, but that's why I'm glad to be able to do these things and then share this wonderful information with everyone out there. But in this case, it has to do with this. You're looking at a representation of it now. Has a very unique name too. It seems like it's gone with the rise of TikTok and other social media outlets. It's known as the not deer. That's right. It's known as the not deer. So let's go ahead and let's talk about all the fascinating info associated with this very, very mysterious creature. So what essentially is this not deer? And when I say not, I mean like N-O-T, like it's a non-deer. Well, think of it like this. Closest way I can think of is it's a creature that looks like a deer and for all intents and purposes could be a deer, but it's off. Like something is just off with regards to it. People that come across it just say that it's a gamut of little things that just add up that cause it to just feel unsettling. Like, for example, there's this. Let's talk about its physical characteristics. It could look like a deer, but it could have, instead of, let's say, a slender neck, it may have a more thicker neck, even muscular neck, like let's say an elk or some other type of moose. Or it could have, instead of longer legs, it could have shorter legs as well. Other variations are instead of having the eyes on the sides, like in this case, like most deer have, in this case, it's more along the lines of forward facing. It's kind of like the eyes that predators tend to have. Plus, there's also this. Then speaking of which, there's the idea that this is a creature that also is on the hunt for other animals instead of, let's say, being just something that eats plants and other type of fruits and so on. No, in this case, it would be something that is there hunting other animals, and it has the usual predator type teeth associated with that as well. And then if you want to get even more fantastical, there's this. There's the idea that those legs I was mentioning earlier, it uses it to walk on its legs. So rather than, let's say, on all fours, it'll be on its hind legs and then it walks around that way. And then other times it apparently has more traditional hands instead of, let's say, the actual hooves that deers tend to have. Again, so many things that people have stated when it comes to so many variations of this not deer. It's almost hard to tell if it's just one particular species or if there's just so many other versions of it that are out there and that just happen to have so many unique encounters with people. And then I was mentioning earlier that it's almost like it's with the rise of social media and TikTok because it's been a trend. People have been posting short clips on TikTok and then on other type of social media outlets showcasing what they think is a not deer. It's the idea that they've come across this almost mutant deer and then they think to themselves, is it a deer, is it not? But then at the same time they're still taking this video and they're putting the hashtag not deer, and that's how this stuff almost has gained a following of sorts. Another way to refer to it, or at least other locals have referred to it as well, is as a folk cryptid, meaning it's just gone along the lines of being around so long that it almost contains like its own legend of sorts, and that's the kind of mythical creature that I was mentioning earlier. Plus this too, not just the fact the way it looks and then the way it moves, but by the way, apparently it moves very fast too. Some sightings have stated that it's over 30 miles an hour when it comes to the speed that this creature has. But there's also this, it creates a deeply unsettling feeling whenever people come across it. You know how deer are by natural instincts, like very, very scared or maybe cautious to be around others, especially humans and other type of animals. Like they are gone at the first sight or either smell or either sound of something that is scaring them. But in this case, these not deer are the complete opposite. People have stated that they've come across them almost like in an animated way, like they will come straight to the person, nearby the person, with no fear whatsoever. And not only that, but it's almost like in an intimidating stance. People have stated whenever they come across them, they're giving off this almost deeply unsettling feeling. Like it's almost like you're not wanted here. I'm making my presence known. Now get out when it comes to that stuff. Plus, I was reading another encounter, and this would be a little scary. These things are either very good when it comes to their predatorial manners, or, as I was mentioning earlier, they may even be paranormal, because people have stated that out of the blue, like let's say they'll be there in the woods somewhere, in the forest, naturally, if something is walking around, anything at all, and it has any weight whatsoever, there's going to be so much rustling sound, not just from the grass and the leaves on the bottom, but also all the twigs and everything else surrounding all the trees and the shrubs. But people have stated that they're by themselves and all of a sudden they see a massive deer suddenly close to them. They have no idea how this thing snuck up on them so well, because again, it would involve an immense amount of stealth for something like this to be able to do so. But there it is. And not only that, but the witness that I was reading the description from stated that it had some of the largest, most beautiful antlers that they had ever seen. I mean, just absolutely massive. The kind of stuff where it shows like a lifetime of not having any kind of fights or interactions with other deers or any other type of conflicts, and it's just antlers that just grew out of control. And this stuff is important because they stated with all the shrubs and all the branches and everything else that those antlers could have gotten caught on and created rustling noise. Here, though, in this case, this not deer snuck up on them very eerily. Not a single sound was made, and then it was suddenly there. Is that truly something involving their stealth, or is that, again, something else paranormal with regards to that? Who knows, but that would be really, really great to hear more information on, especially if anyone knows on a local sense, if they had an encounter with a not deer, if that is true or not, if these sightings just cause these things to just suddenly be there. Now, natural explanations are this, and some people have posted this as well when it comes to their TikToks and so on. They've stated that it could just be deformations, maybe something along the line of inbreeding. Like if you have any animal that inbreeds, they're just going to have more and more deformations the more inbreeding that happens. So maybe something along those lines occurred, or it was just born with a natural defect, something causing it to just look misshapen and have some other unnatural stance when it comes to a regular deer. Or there's other facts that people are stating that there's chronic wasting disease, which is a neurological disorder found in deer that could cause some weight loss and then have this set not just of characteristics of the way it looks unusual, but also the way it could act. It's just another different behavior than from before and so on. So maybe it's something along those lines too, but there just hasn't been enough people to do, let's say, a thorough study when it comes to that, when it comes to seeing what this not deer it truly is. But still, lots of speculation, lots of areas that it's found too. In fact, if you wanted to go into some knee-deep areas, you could go to the Appalachian Mountains. That's where apparently a good number of these not deer are found. I was reading about other areas involving North Carolina, which is another location that apparently they're found. And then also sightings of these not deer, not just in Ohio, but also in Delaware. And then the closest, at least here in Texas, it could be around Oklahoma. That's at least one other area that these creatures are. But I'm sure that there's a whole other list with regards to what these creatures are. But again, that's pretty much it. That's all the info that I have associated with these not deer. So if anybody has a more local info, some of you out there might be hunters. Some of you out there might know more information, legends associated with famous deers and encounters that people have had. I imagine that hunters like sharing these type of stories throughout their communities. So if anyone has any more information on that end, please post it below. Definitely love to hear what those comments are before. Very unique cryptid. Very first time I've heard of something like this. Love sharing it with everyone here. So, all right, everybody. Thanks again as always. Take care.